you join me out in the woods. Yeah, I'm at the campsite again, doing a little bit more prep, including something that I'll show you a bit later. But today's episode is very much more about the packing and the equipment I'll be taking with me, with 1 or 2 additions on the day, which I'll talk about when we're actually wild camping. So this is the last episode before we go camping. As you can see, I've made the little fire hearth a little bigger. It's now about, I don't know, 75 centimetres across, and I've got my wood burning stove, which I lit, because I was lazy, with a piece of cotton wool with petroleum jelly rubbed into it. And I'm using my new to me anyway titanium pot on the top, so my little kettle there, and all my pots this time around will be titanium, not really because of the weight, it's just because they last longer. And yeah, people were good enough to give them to me, and yeah, they're just tougher and nicer quality of pot. Saves me cooking on the aluminium stuff I was. So it's another lovely day out here in the woods. So I'm going to get on with making myself a brew, and then we'll have a look at all the equipment that I brought along with me that I deem is, you know, necessary to have a really fun time out in the woods. So see you in a bit. Boom! Yep, so that's the hammock set up. It's a military tarp, a double D scout hammock, and a jungle sleeping bag, because it's going to be very warm. It might rain, but that's basically my sleep system. So down here I've got my pod, and that's a little bag that I like to put inside my main rucksack, which is a Kathmandu glue-on, which is over there. That's a 60-litre backpack with a full front opening and an internal metal frame. Really nice. Cinches up tight and does a good impression of a hold-all, because it's got a handle on the side if you want to carry it without it looking like a backpack. So I'm a huge fan of that, and it's got a zip-up section that you can actually hide away the straps in. And the only thing in there is the bags in which the sleep system, which is above it, came in. So there's that, and the pod. And the pod's a great way of keeping all your bits and pieces together. And in the pod, we have all of this stuff. So, oh, the other thing that's in the Kathmandu bag is the first aid kit in the top pouch. So I've got drinks pouch, that's got a load of way more tea bags than I think we'll need, with sugar and a few army sort of isotonic powder drinks. I've got me in the hammock bag, which has got a headlight, and will have things like cigarettes and stuff, because I still smoke, because I'm an idiot, and my mobile phone in it, and headphones and stuff. I've got my handy dandy fire kit, and that's got some petroleum jelly, cotton wool balls, you know, some bicycle inner tube, and all sorts of other bits and pieces, and a spare mug. I always take a spare mug, and that's my own sort of failing there, because I forgot my mug once and it sucked. So yeah, that's that. This is an empty half of a sardine tin, which I'm going to try and use as a fire lighter, and essentially I want to put a night light in it and slide it into the teepee of the fire and use the night light to like illuminate stuff, basically get things going, and then you can sort of just tug it out with a pair of pliers, just yank it out of the way. So yeah, I shall see whether that's worth doing or not on this trip. Here is my handy dandy $15 Chinese stainless steel wood gasifier. They're awesome. Everybody should have one, even if you don't do wild camping. It's a really good backup stove. You can use meths burners in it, you can use fuel tablets, wood, you know, almost anything that will burn, and it will burn much more efficiently. Thanks to a combination of Dean and Kevin, I've got a couple of these titanium pots, which are now super, you know, cheap if you want to buy a no-named one, both with lids. If you can get a lid, get a lid. There's nothing in there. You know, little meths burner made out of a drinks can, and it lasts for years. Extra paracord, because I've always got extra paracord. Emergency loo roll, always have it. That's scrubby sponge. Goes with the Muppet glove. If you can get one of these, they're like £1. Little silicone latex gloves that you can pick stuff up without burning your fingers, because burns suck when you're out in the woods. Little stainless steel folding sport. They're about $1.50. Get a bunch of them. They're really handy. Something that's not coming back with me is this butane torch. They're horrible and dangerous. You know, don't use them. You can't solder with them and you can't light fires with them, because I've just tried. Don't do that. This is the Power Practical LED light strip that runs off a USB power bank. You can either hang it up in this bag and it makes a really nice lantern. The thing's translucent. And yeah, they're really good for providing like nighttime illumination so you don't trip over and hurt yourself. Light's a really handy thing. I've got 2 sticks of fat wood, a pair of medical shears, a homemade hand drill, because we're going to be making things, so extra tools are always good. What else have I got? A couple of citronella candles for Dean. Oh, extra folding knife. I didn't think I'd brought this, but this is who makes these? This is a Ganzo Spyderco copy with a nice locking pin there. This is lovely, you know, micarta type, you know, glass handle, really good. I think you can always use an extra knife when you're out in the woods. What else? Just yet another citronella candle and some night lights. That's pretty much it. The perennial favourite, the Barco Laplander, best saw I've ever owned. Some meths, because you shouldn't take cooking your food for granted or getting a cup of tea down you, even though I'm only about 20 minutes walk from home. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's and over there, my beloved Gransford Brooks small forest axe. And that's pretty much all I'm bringing, you know, apart from a lot more cordage. Oh, let's do that and change that. So yeah. So here's the campsite. There's my hammock, backpack, firewood pile. There's the little bench firewood pile that I made. You just get 4 stakes, hammer them into the ground, and then pile in firewood. And I've got my 2 metre by 150 centimetre fleece blanket. And that's just, you literally buy that as material. It's not been cut or edged or anything like that. And that's proven to be a very comfortable seat pad. My pod bag, and uncharacteristically a whole bunch of crap that I've not tidied away that I will immediately. That's all the stuff from the previous bit where I was getting everything out to show people. There's another bench over there because me and Dean are going to be out here around the fire pit. There's my backpack and my sleeping thing. So the kit hasn't changed in an amazingly long time. The axe I've had for nearly 20 years and it's not shown any sign of giving up soon. The neck knife that I didn't show you I've had for the same amount of time. And that's just a, you know, just army surplus stuff apart from the double D hammock. But, you know, they last years. You know, it's good value stuff. And it's meant that I've been able to have lots of like micro vacations going and doing my stuff. So I hope you enjoyed part 3 of the Anatomy of a Wild camping trip. So the next video is going to be me and Dean camping over 24 hours, and we'll see how it goes. And we'll show you all the other additions we make to our environment, you know, using our bushcraft skills, you know, a bit more effectively than we normally do when we go. We normally just set up, sit around, chat, have a cup of tea, and that's largely it. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please take care. And yeah, end greed, end hate, end poverty, or we all die. See ya.